Good morning. I I have many dishes to do and clean up my house a little bit. So why don't you go ahead and spend the day with me? And let me introduce myself. My name is Lisa. I am 59 years old, recently disabled, and I can't work for many reasons. And but I need to clean my house. And my husband is exhausted from working overtime, and so I do all the work at home. I don't make him do anything at home because he's working 12-hour days. So there's that. And so welcome to my channel. And go ahead and spend the day with me. Right now, we need to start off with a cup of coffee. Yeah, we're going to make a cup of coffee. And I believe I'm going to go ahead and make it in my hot Starbucks mug. We're going to have hot coffee. It is 7:45 in the morning. Making myself a cup of coffee. I wish I had some Starbucks coffee left. That was pretty good. So I'm not going to buy these anymore. I'm going to go ahead and just buy the Starbucks. Yeah. These are good. And this box comes with seven of these packs. You can make 7 cups of coffee for $1. $1. So I buy these for backup, because I'm limited on what I can spend since I'm not working. All right, I'm excited for coffee. Are you excited to spend the day with me? I hope so. I really hope so. I got lots of stuff to do. Shoot, I have misplaced my scissors. All right, well, I'm going to have to cut it open. I have my Nigel doll. I have to sharpen all my knives today. Actually, I really need to buy new ones, but I can't even get this to cut off. Oh my God. Okay, I got it. Whoa. Wow. I hope my whole day doesn't go like that. All right. We got some boom chocolate. Coffee. Well, no chocolate for me today. So I started canning these about 4 or 5 days ago. So I'm going to flip them, right? I'm pickling them. Not canning them. I'm pickling them. So they're almost done, I think. I'm going to probably open it up maybe later today and have a try. Definitely. I have lots of dishes to do. Even that bucket's dirty. So all of these. I don't even have a clean coffee cup, really. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 dirty coffee cups. That's terrible. I did no cleaning the whole, my husband has Wednesday and Thursday off. And so I didn't do any cleaning. I did do some cooking, and we just spent time together. So I think I posted a couple of TikToks while he was sleeping. Not of him sleeping, but while he was sleeping. All right, so I'm excited to get my house clean. And I'm trying to think of what meal I'm going to be making next, because tacos are almost gone. Everything else is gone, and tacos are almost gone. So I got to get some more meal prep stuff going. A lot of groceries haven't been touched yet, which is a good thing, but I don't want them to go bad. That's just about perfect right there. Tad more hot water. All right. That's a good cup of coffee right there. It's very hot though. So I will have to let it cool down. I love the blue glow that my bathroom illuminates. It's because the sun shines through my shower curtain. So the window is in the shower, and then as the sun comes up and it lightens up, it illuminates through the shower curtain, and that's where the blue comes from. Okay, I'm ready to go. I really hope, I love doing this, and I really hope that I find some good people and some friends, and we can all stay positive even though we have issues in our life. Be kind to each other, and yeah, so I'm excited. I'm very excited. Okay, let's do it. First, we're gonna start with the dishes because they're bugging me. Then we're gonna vacuum. And I think I have a carpet shampooer, and I think I'm gonna go ahead and run the shampooer on the carpet. Maybe not today, but maybe tomorrow. Because I have all these plans in my head, you know, and I have 10 things I'm gonna do, but I can only physically do 4 or 5 of those. So then I have to stop for the day because the pain is so overwhelming. And the illness that I have is very, very confusing because I can do anything. Except for work, because see, the reason I can't work is the medicine I'm on is a controlled substance, and I'm a school bus driver, and so I wouldn't even try to put myself behind the wheel of a school bus and put those kids' safety at risk being on the medicine that I'm on. And it's a controlled substance. So as soon as I started this medicine, I got a letter from the state stating that they are revoking my CDL. So when I went down in this last June to renew my driver's license, I was able to get my driver's license. The CDL was dropped off, but I had choices. So my choice was to just drop it off and forget it because I'm probably never going to work again. And that's most likely what's going to happen. But I was at the DMV in tears. They're taking away my CDL, that I'd had for, well, not 36 years, because when I started driving a school bus, you didn't need a CDL. You just need to go through training and get the passenger endorsement, and that was it. We're good. And then a couple of years later, they required us to get a CDL. So we got that a couple of years later. So I've had a CDL on my license for probably, I want to say 34 years, and driving a total of 37. So, well, almost 37, but I'm not driving anymore, so that's where I'm kind of capping it right there, because it would be 37 here right now. And I did work up until the beginning of the pandemic, so. But I'm not counting the last 2 years. I'm only counting from when I stopped at the pandemic, would be 37 years there, yeah. Started in 84, 2020, 84, let's count it out, 84, 94, 104, 14, that's 30 years, so 14 to 22 is 8. Yeah, so that's 37 years. I mean, technically 38, but I don't want to say 38 because it's 36. Because I counted to 2020. So, yeah. 20 is from 4 is 16. Wait a second here. 94, 04, 14. 2014 to 2020 is 6 years. So 36 years plus a little bit. I'm just going to cap it at 36 because that we're good there. But I definitely miss my job so bad. I think about it every day. I miss the kids. I miss driving the bus. I miss everything about my job. And I can't wait to go back to work if I ever get to go back to work. Unfortunately, I'm sorry for being so emotional. Unfortunately, the illness that I have probably won't go away. So, and I can't not be on the nerve blocking medicine or I would be at a 10 all day, every day, and then over a 10, like eye rolling, I'm gonna die, take me to the hospital kind of thing if I worked. So, um, because it just, everything that ever touches me. So, if you know somebody with shingles or postherpetic neuralgia, please be kind to them because, and try and ask them if they can touch you, if you can touch them. Because people touch me and it hurts so bad. But I don't like, like if I say I go play bingo or something and I got a stranger sitting next to me and we're fist bumping because we're having fun and we're getting to know each other and all this, and then all of a sudden they reach their hand up and pat me on the back or say, oh my God, you're so wonderful, whatever, right? A cough, oh, you okay, you okay? So anytime somebody touches me and they don't know, so I don't get mad at them because they don't know. But I do, if I'm going to spend any certain amount of time with them, I would say something. And so my friends and family know, except for my grandson. And he, don't tell him you can't touch grandma. No, we are not doing that. He is adorable, by the way. I think he's going to be 4 come January, yeah. He was born a month and 3 days apart from his mother. His mother's birthday is the 26th of December, and his birthday is the 29th of January. So 33 days difference, or 35 maybe because of the date, but whatever. All right, my brain doesn't think like that anymore. My brain, I have no 24-hour thing. I've been unemployed and disabled for 2.5 years, and I have not had 1 penny of income, not one, in over a year. It's been about 13 months. And unemployment wants me to pay back $36,000 because they say, I got laid off on March 8th. They say as of March 9th, I could not work because I was sick. And that's not true. I was on gabapentin until July of 2021, which is not a controlled substance. Unfortunately, gabapentin stopped working, and the next step would be Lyrica, which is a controlled substance. Now I'm talking just the state of Washington, because I know that gabapentin is a controlled substance in other states. And that was my biggest fight when they asked me to come back to work. I said, I'm on this medicine and I don't feel safe. Now, there's the key word. I don't feel safe to transport other people's children. It's a safety issue. It's not if I can do it or not, because I can do it, but I'm going to be in so much pain. I can drive on a 10 pain level. But why would I? No, not doing that. I am not going to push myself that hard, because I've pushed myself that hard in many, many years in the past. And as you guys get to know me, you're going to get to see that I'm a fighter. I don't have that fight or flight thing. No, I just have the fight thing. Because you know what? Yeah, I mean, I have literally stood up to bullies and people that are just drunk and angry drunk, or just a dick hole to begin with. Yeah, don't, no. Because I will start, and I'm not a Karen. I'm just 100 with it, Like, you want to be a dick, I'm probably not going to say anything about, oh, you cut me off in the grocery store, oh, you littered, or pick that. I'm not a Karen. That's for damn sure. I'm not a fucking Karen. But, I mean, there's people out there that, I'm 100 with it. That's all there is to it. I am 100 with it. If there's an issue, then I'm going to say something. Not so much anymore, because I am sick, and I don't really want to get in a fight with somebody. I wouldn't physically fight, but a verbal yelling match would be. But, don't treat my husband with disrespect. Don't treat my friends with disrespect. Don't treat my family members with disrespect. And you will get respect. That's all there is to it. But if you're going to be a dick and disrespectful to, everybody around you, But why would you do that? It takes more energy to be mean than it does to be nice. And you get a way better response on being nice. I mean, that's the whole thing, is you just get a better response. So I love to be kind and I love to help people. And unfortunately, I'm not in the position to help. I still do, but I can only do so much. So, like my best friend is moving, and I wish I could help her, but I just can't. I can't be lifting boxes and taking them out to the U-Haul, because my pain is just going to be, it's just going to be too bad. At the end of the day, I would just want to unalive myself, I guess, but I don't do that because I promised my husband and my children, no matter what, I will not do that. I am on an antidepressant. I'm on amitriptyline. I take 15 milligrams a day. It helps with the pain, and it's an antidepressant. So I took amitriptyline when I had my car accident in 2015, and I labeled it my happy drug because it kept the depression at bay, and it helped with the pain, and it helped me sleep. So amitriptyline is a very beneficial medicine. But so I'm on 50 milligrams of that. I'm on 600 milligrams of Lyrica, which is a nerve blocking medicine, because my nerves they're sick. My nerves are sick. They're very damaged, they're very confused, and they're sick. And my brain is just not telling my nerves anything else. It's like, oh, you're in pain. Well, let me just tell Lisa she's in pain. And that's the constant thing all day. The nerves send confusing messages to my brain, and the illness that I have is due to a diabetic complication. When I got shingles, my diabetes complicated it, and my shingles was very rare. I didn't have a rash on the outside of my body. My rash was internal on my organs. So how was I to know that the pain was shingles? Now, had I had a rash on the outside of my body, I would have said, oh my God, look at this, I got shingles. Better go to the doctor and get the antiviral medicine. And if you have shingles, you make a doctor's appointment. You don't go to Walmart and ask the pharmacist what you can do for the rash on your left side of your body. Like what happened yesterday. The lady in front of me, oh my God, I wanted to say, ma'am, go to the doctor. You probably have shingles. But she's asking the pharmacist, what can you give me over the counter for a rash? And I'm in so much pain, it itches so bad. I'm like, oh my God, she's got shingles. Now, there's a lot of people. There has been a lot of people in the last couple of years with, we shut down for months, and a lot of people got sick. A lot of people passed away. However, a lot of people also got shingles. And so that was the silent pandemic going at the same time as the other pandemic. So there's a lot of people out there that have, and it's not going away like me. They're struggling to get it away. So, I'm like, get your shingles vaccine, call your doctor, and you can get the shingles vaccine at Walmart, and your insurance will pay for it if it even needs to be paid for. I'm not sure. I didn't pay for it, so. But I went ahead and got my shingles vaccine after I got shingles, after I learned, and it took probably, let's see, March, April, May, June, July, 5 months for me to be properly diagnosed. 5 months. and the doctor, one of the doctors said something like, well, I'm not going to prescribe you pain pills. I was appalled. I said, well, good, because I'm allergic to pain pills. And he kind of just looked at me and he goes, well, because what he said was, if you think you're getting pain pills out of me, you're not. And I said, are you kidding me? I'm in pain. I need to know what is wrong with me. And you're treating me like I'm an addict trying to get pain pills. no, I'm not. And I said, are you kidding me? Have you even looked at my chart? Because I don't take pain pills. I'm allergic to every pain pill and about 80% of antibiotics. I'm allergic to a lot of things. I'm allergic to three of the liver protection or kidney protection pills. So the medicine I'm on with my diabetes and my post-herpetic and all that. Now my post-herpetic has been renamed as radicalitis because of the length of time that I've had it. So, I mean, it's been 2.5 years, and the doctors think it's not going to go away, or it's too bad, and it's not something I should be going through, because the coworker came to work sick. I'm screwed, you know. So, post-herpetic is a type of you really have to ask yourself, how much pain am I willing to be in today? Because your pain's going to elevate no matter what you do. And the pills only help so much. So the Lyrica, the 600 milligrams of Lyrica I'm on, is barely taking the edge off. The amitriptyline is helping with the pain. The Lyrica is helping with the pain, but I'm not pain free. Now, if I just sat there in my pajamas all day, which is what I've been doing for the last 2.5 years, then I'm not in much pain. But if I go clean the car, if I do the dishes and cook a meal and go wash my car, I'm at a 10. Just the little tiny regular home chores, whatever chores, you know. So I am back in pool therapy. I gotta say, pool therapy helps quite a bit. The problem with that is I gotta get dressed, get in the car, drive down there, walk all the way to the pool from the parking lot, and by the time I get there, I'm having so much fun. I'm just like, yeah, okay, yeah. So then I do the pool therapy, and yes, it does help with the pain. And it feels so good, and you're just kind of floating in the water. You know, it's not a lot of exercising, but it is just walking. You know, walking backwards, and then do some toe lifts and this and that, and blah blah blah. So the last time I had it, I was like, oh man, this is awesome, this is wonderful. Because even though I had to get up, get dressed, drive down there, park the car, and walk all the way to the pool, and that did elevate my pain, yes, absolutely. However, the pool therapy, oh, it just felt so good, you know, and that's what I was looking for. I just wanted to have a little bit of a break in order to not have to feel pain 24/7, you know. So, but after I got out of the pool, and then I would get dressed and walk back to the car and all that, I wasn't in any more pain. So it lasted a couple of hours after the fact as well. So, yes, I love it. And then the physical therapist said, well, you know, you only get 9 sessions. And I'm like, oh, I think I need more than that. But only 9 gets approved at a time or whatever. And so then she said, well, go to the public pools. And I'm like, okay, so I did. But, oh man, I'll tell you, people can be so cruel. You know, just teasing me because I wasn't swimming in the pool. I was just kind of walking back and forth. I could swim. I could swim with the best of them. Are you kidding me? I started water skiing when I was 8. Like, seriously. I'm a good water skier. I've snow skied a little bit, but not much. I'm not really that great at that. But, I mean, I can do it, you know. I just prefer water skiing. My ski is a Conley Comp 2, and I gave it to my nephew when he decided he wanted to ski. It was my mother's ski, and then I got it. That ski is probably 40 or 50 years old, and it's a Conley Comp 2, which people are like, oh, what's that? I don't know what a water ski that is, but it had its own case. This huge blue case with a handle. Oh man, I was skiing in style, I'm telling you. And that's the ski that I wiped out I don't know if you guys can see it, but I'll try and show you. I wiped out one day and the ski popped up and hit my eye right here. So I have a scar going kind of like that. Maybe it's down a little bit, but I wasn't very old. But I had, when I came up out of the water and I was getting ready, because I wiped out, and then of course I'm getting ready to get back up, you know, I want to ski some more. And apparently I had blood gushing from my eyelid, and my mom freaked out. Get her in the boat! Get her in the boat! She's hurt. Well, yeah, Mom, I'm an accident waiting to happen, unfortunately. You have a daughter that is accident prone. So, I had to go get stitches in my eye, my eyelid. But, yeah, I still love skiing, that's for sure. I didn't stop. I did not stop that. I loved it so much. And my stepdad, Ken, really loved it. And so we had a boat. You know, we had a traffic camper and a boat and all this. We'd go camping. We'd go take the boat down to Sand Point and launch the boat over in Sand Point, and then boat over to Bellevue and have lunch and whatever. You know, there's a park over there too. So I think that's in Kirkland. I'm not sure. But yeah, there's a park over there that we used to go to. Oh, let me tell you about this. So it was the same park that we used to go to, was the same park where Ted Bundy was finding his victims. Not kidding. No lie, no joke. So he was at, and I can't remember the name, it's Marymore? I don't know, but we would launch the boat at Sand Point and drive the boat over there across the water. It's right next to Bellevue, I believe it's Kirkland, and there's a park there that it has a boat launch, you know. You can ski from it and swim in the park. So we would take all of our picnic stuff over there, and we would picnic and boat all day long. It was so much fun. Well, and it was the same park that Ted Bundy was getting his victims. He had a yellow Volkswagen, and he would have his arm in a sling like he was hurt, and he would ask the girls, oh, can you help me? You know, had a big bag or whatever. Can you help me carry this to my car? And he used chloroform. When they got to the car, he would use a chloroform and put it over their mouth, look around, nobody's watching, put her in the car, and off he went. So there's that. Well, one day, we're at the park, and my sister Kim is at the concession, in the line for the concession stand. And he walks up to her, and at this point, we don't know who he is. However, we were not allowed to talk to strangers. And yeah, maybe he was good looking. We were not allowed to talk to strangers. I'm very young, so my sister was probably 16 at the time, and she's 6 years older, so I was probably about 10. And so she's in the concession line, and he walks up to her and starts talking to her, and was asking her, hey, can you help me out, blah, 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 how are you, you're very pretty, what's your name, blah, 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 blah. You know, giving her compliments and asking if he can help her, or if she can help him. So she says, yeah. And so after the concession stand, they start walking away towards the parking lot. And I said, whoa, 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 you're not supposed to talk, Dad! And I yelled for my father, my stepfather, really, really loud. And I tattletaled on my sister for talking to strangers. I said, Dad, she's talking to strangers and they're walking away. Yeah. And my sister, my dad yells for my sister, get your ass over here. You're in trouble, Missy. And, you know, so then Mr. Ted Bundy kept walking. He didn't stop, he didn't turn around, nothing. He just kept walking and got in his car and left. Because my dad was going to let him have it. But by the time he got Kim back and yelled at her and went to go look for the guy was gone. But I know damn well it was Ted Bundy. I saw his face. And I saw him get into a yellow Volkswagen. So when the story broke, because I live in Washington State, I was raised here. When the story broke, I knew exactly what he was doing with my sister. So in essence, I saved her life. in essence. You just gotta be careful, especially nowadays. Do not allow. So let me tell you the story of when I was down in San Diego. So I'm gonna kind of make it short because I just want to tell you part of the story. So I'm down in San Diego, and I'm down there. What was it? Last September. My mother-in-law was getting scammed because she's got dementia. And she was just handing her money over. So I'm down there helping her out, cleaning her apartment, organizing, trying to talk her into going to a assisted living. No, she wasn't going to have it. And I said, there's this national list, and she said no. But anyways, so her house was so filthy, and because the plan was I would just put my sleeping bag on the floor and sleep at my mother-in-law's house, because it was only one bedroom. And when I got there, I'm like, oh, no. I'm not a germaphobe, but oh my God. I didn't even want to sit, I didn't want to stay. I didn't want to sit down. It was so filthy. So I'm like, oh my God, Mom, we got to clean this place up. And I knew she was not a very clean person, because when she would come to visit, in the years past, she would come to visit, and she was filthy. She wouldn't clean anything. She was using the same pan to cook bacon in for probably a year or two, not washing it, not taking the old oil, no, nothing. It was just coated with, oh, it was horrible. I think I have a video of her house. Anyway, so I could not stay there. I'm going to make this long story short. I could not stay there because of it being that filthy. It was just really bad. So I said, you know what, I'm just going to go. I got a couple of friends, that I could hook up with and sleep at their house, and it's not a big deal, blah, blah, blah. Well, I didn't really have any friends. I just didn't want her to worry about me, And so I would just sleep in my car. So I went and got one of those blow-up single mattresses. I already had pillow blanket and sleeping bag and all that. So I would just put the seats down in my Jeep and blow up that thing, and I was comfortable. I was very, very comfortable. But there was a lot of times where I didn't feel comfortable parked on the street or anything like that, right? So I looked up a truck stop, and it was a Pilot truck stop, and it was about a 15 or so minute drive from her house, her apartment. So I would go there, and you could pay for a shower, right? So it was like $15 for a shower. And a lot of people were there, staying there and sleeping overnight in their cars and da-da-da. So I met a couple of people, no big deal. Well, I don't know really how this came about, but the night before of the incident, I was talking to this Mexican guy. I mean, he seemed real nice, and he was taking a shower. He had taken a shower, and he was getting ready for work. He was a construction worker and worked, a few miles away, blah, blah, blah. But he was homeless, so that's why he was living in his car at the Pilot. I said, well, I'm kind of homeless too. I'm down here and have nowhere to go, really. But so I said, hey, you're pretty cool. How about we meet here tonight, and we can park next to each other, and we can both feel safe. And he's like, oh, that sounds like a great idea. Now, if he had anything to do with the incident, I do not know. What I do know is he didn't show up. So there I am. I'm at the Pilot, and I was on the phone with my husband, and it was his mother that we were dealing with, and he was working. He had to stay working because I wasn't working, and he had to keep our life afloat. He had to sustain our life, so he couldn't go. And she didn't understand that. I said, he can't afford to take the days off. Now, if I was working, well, why don't you go back to work? I said, because I can't. I'm sorry, but here's the deal. When COVID came about, I was making $30 an hour, 30. And if the unemployment, or if anybody else thinks that I should just get a job at a 7-Eleven or something for $12 an hour, they are out of their fucking minds. I don't get out of bed for less than 20. So there you go. Even if I wasn't sick. Anyways, so this is what was happening, you know. So I was there the next night talking. I was talking to my husband on the phone when I pulled in. I was talking through my car, right? So you could hear his voice, you know. I mean, it was a handless type, you know, it hooks my phone up to my car, and I can talk through my car and not have to even take my phone out of my purse. Anyway, so that's what I was doing, and I pulled in to the spot where, and I told my husband about the other guy. I said, he's gonna come and I'll have somebody watching me and it'll be fine. He's a cool guy. And so if he had anything to do with it, I don't know, but he wasn't there that night. Maybe he went out drinking instead. So anyways, I mean, he knew I was married, so he wasn't trying to do anything. He was really nice. But anyways, I get there and I'm talking to my husband on the phone in the car. So my car is still on, and there's a white van parked next to me with an older couple. And it was a girl and a guy, and they appeared to be a couple. So they got out, they parked their van next to my car, and they got out and walked, and I was watching them. They walked into the store and got whatever they were gonna get, and they came back. And when they came back, the lady got in the back of the van and the guy got in the front of the van. And I'm like, huh, that's kind of weird. Maybe she's just gonna take a nap or whatever. And then I'm still gabbing away with my husband. And I look, I'm sitting in my car, I'm backed into the stall, and I look, and they are on the passenger side, front in. So, because I was backed in, and they were front in, it was like their sliding door to the back of the van and my passenger door were right next to each other. So, and if this ever happens to you, roll your fucking windows up, lock your fucking car, and get the fuck away. So here's what happened. Talking to my husband on the phone, and because he was in my car on the speaker, you could hear him, right? I could get out of the car and walk around the car and we could still be talking. So I'm not really paying attention to much to my right. I'm kind of looking to the left towards the store. And then I look over to the right, and there is something underneath my windshield wiper, right? And I'm like, hey, somebody put something under my windshield wiper. And it looks like a credit card or something. I said, I'm gonna grab it real quick. So we're talking on the phone while I'm grabbing this card off the, thank God I was on the phone with my husband. Thank God, because had I not been, that van door would have opened and they would have grabbed me and I'd have been gone to Mexico to be somebody's slave. I don't know. But that is, I'm 99.9% sure that is what would have happened had I not been on the phone with my husband. So I grabbed the card, it's a debit card or credit card, and I get back in the car and I said, well, that's weird. And he said, well, maybe they found it in the parking lot and thought it was yours. I said, my window is down. Why would they, and I'm talking to you, why would they just not come up to the window instead of putting it on the passenger side windshield wiper? I mean, right? So if you find that there is something underneath your windshield wiper on the passenger side, do not go get it. Get in your car, lock your door, drive away, go to a fire department or a police station, whatever, and then get it off your car, right? And then my husband's like, well, maybe somebody put it on your car before you left Mom's house. I said, there's no way. I'm doing 60, 70 miles an hour that would have stayed on the car. And I'm pretty sure it wasn't there when I pulled in here. So we were talking about it, and at this point, so the white van is here, front end, and I'm next to him, and he's in the very first stall, and I'm in the second stall. The furthest stall's away from the store. So we're like this, right? And I got the debit card in my hand, and it has a name on it. And so then they're in the van, and they're talking. So she had gotten up to the front after all this, and they were talking. And they were talking in Spanish, and I don't know Spanish, so then another white van pulls up and pulls kind of at an angle behind that white van and me. So I was kind of blocked in when the van stopped. And I'm still on the phone with my husband, and I said, another white van just showed up and blocked me into my stall. He goes, start the car and get the fuck out of there. I said, I'm trying. So then the guy gets out of the van that was already there, and the guy gets out of the new white van that shows up, and they're talking to each other. they're talking, right? And they're kind of nudging their head towards me and blah, blah, blah. They're not actually pointing at me, but they're kind of doing this and they're talking. Well, the guy in the van that pulls in afterwards gets really mad and tells the other guy, just get in that van. So he got in the van that just arrived, and the guy that drove that van in got in the other white van with the lady, right? So I'm like, oh, but isn't that why is she not going with her husband, right? So I'm kind of like, what's happening here? And so then he pulls the van out from in front of me, and I just started my car, slammed it into drive, and booked it the fuck out of there. Seriously. Well, so I was one exit away from the Mexican border. So I was within 3 miles of the Mexican border. And so I start my car and I peel out of there and I'm gone. I don't even stop at the stop sign because I can see there's no cars coming. So I take a right and I go up to the light and I take a left. Thank God it was a green light. Well, this white van is following me. And I said, I'm just going to get on the freeway and lose him. So I get on the freeway, and I didn't actually see him get on the freeway. So I thought, oh, I'm a doofus. I'm just being, nervous because he's not following me now. So then it was really dark out, and then my husband, we're still talking. And I said, oh, babe, I'm scared. I don't know what to do now. I can't stay at your mom's, and I can't go back to the pilot, but I'm terrified of being here in San Diego. So then, so I get on the freeway and I feed it down the freeway and we're talking. And he goes, well, are you sure you're not being followed? And I looked in the rearview mirror and there was a vehicle behind me without any lights on. And I said, well, there's 2 vehicles behind me. One is a larger vehicle and has no lights on. And one is a car that's two lanes over to my right and is almost passing me at this point. So the car without the lights was directly behind me, a ways back, and was attempting to even do the speed limit because I was doing probably 500 at that point. It's late. There's nobody else on the freeway, right? And I said, well, I do believe it's him. I do. So I feed it up, and my husband says this. He goes, do not get off the freeway. You just head north because we live in Washington. He goes, and I want you home right now. Just don't even talk to my mom. Just keep going. You're already going north on I-5. Just do not get off and just keep going. And I'm like, I can't just abandon your mother. I'm sorry. I know this sounds frightening to you, but I'm trying to deal with it, and I'm not gonna, I'm not one to back down anyway. So then, so I'm driving, and then eventually the guy turns the lights on, and I can see it's a white van. And I'm like, okay, he's following. So I'm getting off an exit that I have no idea where I'm going. I had never been to San Diego or LA or any of that stuff. But I went a ways down the freeway, got off on an exit. I was in downtown something next to San Diego or downtown San Diego. I'm not sure. I went a ways on the freeway before I got off. So then I get off and I take a left, and I'm going to get on the freeway going the other way, and I don't see an on-ramp. So I take a right to see if I can find the on-ramp. And there's a white van coming off the freeway. Now the exit after the one I took, because he missed the exit that I took. So the exit after was only like a half mile away, and it was one of those exits that go up over the freeway and drop back down. So you're dropping down on the west side of the freeway instead of the east where you would exit from if you were going north on I-5. So it was like one of these that go up over the freeway and down. So I take a right, and that white van, and I see the guy driving the white van. It is in fact the guy that was at Pilot, at the stop sign at the bottom of the exit. And we are literally head to head. And I'm like, oh, fuck, no, So I bust a left. It was a dead end street. I'm like, son of a bitch. So I bust a U-turn and come back up, right? And he had gone straight. And then I took a left and dead end street, and I'm going back up and coming back up and taking a right? Because you can't take a left, it was the freeway. Do not enter coming off the freeway. Well, he was taking the U-turn just shortly down that street. So I'm like, oh, and I'm still on the phone with my husband, and my husband's freaking out. Get away from the van. Do whatever you got to do. Get on the freeway. Go north. Da 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 da. And I said, I'm trying, and I'm starting to panic. I said, babe, I'm trying. I'm just. Oh, there's an on ramp. I'm just going to get on. So I had hit the on ramp to go south I-5, as he was about halfway on the U-turn, right? Because the on ramp was right there. I fucking floored it. By the time I got up on the freeway, in my Jeep, in my 2014 Jeep, I was doing 90, probably 90 or 95 miles an hour within 20 feet of hitting the freeway. I just floored it. I floored it. And I went and I fucking just busted it out. I busted it out. Then I got off, I drove around, did this and that, got back on, went down a couple exits, drove around it, you know, just kind of this thing, right? And I was up all night long because I'm not going to abandon your mother. Your mother's at home sleeping. And I'm not going to not show up tomorrow morning and abandon her. She needs my help right now. So my husband was mad, but he's like, okay, well, you lost the van. You should be okay. Don't go back to the pilot, blah, blah, blah. So the debit card that I still had in my possession was, in fact, a GPS type of thing. So they found where I was parked my car the next day. And when I left and walked to my car, I said, bye, Mom, see you tomorrow, and go spend the night with my friends, you know. There was a white van parked next to me, and I was parked across the street in the church parking lot. There was a white van, and I have a little bit of footage of that. However, I was not really paying attention. I think I was on the phone with my friend and telling her where I was going to go get something to eat, or she had a friend that I could go spend the night at, right? So she had called her friend, and he was okay with it. Unfortunately, when I got there, I was unable to spend the night because his girlfriend had a tizzy fit, which I understand. Okay, so there you go. And so anyways, the white van was in fact in the parking lot. So I just, and she couldn't get a hold of a friend. So what I did was I just drove around all night until I was for sure, right? Well, my dumb ass didn't get rid of the debit card. I didn't figure out that that was a GPS unit until I got back to Washington. So then, like I'm telling you, they were working hard. They were spending some money to get my ass. Why, I don't know. But I mean, at that point, I was only like 140 pounds too. I'm like 200. I'm gonna weigh myself. Oh no, I need batteries for my scale. Maybe I'll put new batteries in there and weigh myself. But I'm about 200 pounds right now. So I was 60 pounds lighter and wearing a size 8, and now I'm in a size 18, 20, double XL, you know, which is fine with me. It doesn't bother me. Blah blah blah. We're fine. But did I? These are still dirty. Why would I set them over here? I mean, they're still. I haven't washed these. I don't think I've washed these. And if I did, I'm gonna wash them again because why are they over there, right? Yeah, no, I don't think I've washed them. All right, so you get these dishes too. So I believe, in my belief, and call me delusional or crazy or whatever, I believe I was in an abduction attempt. So then, the next day, right, I call the police and I file a report about the incident. Well, because I wasn't in the same county, oh, you gotta call that county, and then I call that county, and they're like, oh, you gotta call the other county. I'm just like, really? So I said, look, just give me on the phone to whoever I need to talk to. So then the sergeant, the deputy gets on, because I think it was the sheriff's office. So, you know, because I believe that the pilot was in an unincorporated type where it's the sheriff and not a police department. So I'm talking to the sheriff and I'm telling him all about it, and he agrees. He said, yeah, there's you know, you really got to be careful this close to the border, and you know, it happens all the time, and da da da. And I'm like, really, wow, somebody should be advocating for that, but you know, it's not my place. And so I had always had a want to go to California, and my husband is from California. As soon as I met him, the want kind of went away, and So California wasn't a place that I frequently was there for, you know. However, so I'm talking to the police officer and I'm telling him about what happened, and he does believe that I could have been abducted, and thank God, you know, I was on the phone with my husband and had the sense to get out of there, whatever, you know. So, I don't trust. I have definite trust issues for sure. I don't trust until I feel like I can trust, you know. So I don't trust just any Tom and Jerry. But anyways, so I'm talking to him, and I could tell that he didn't really, that he was listening to me, but I don't think he was actually taking a statement, because he was just like, oh yeah, this man's crazy, blah, blah, blah. Well, but she didn't get abducted, so it's okay, blah, blah, blah. So I'm like, so he's trying to get me off the phone, and I kind of get the sense that he's not really caring what I'm saying. I said, do you even want to hear the rest of, and he goes, well, there's really not much we can do. You didn't get the license plate. Well, I said, but I have you know, I can ID them, the guys, right? And so, anyway, so he wanted to get off the phone. Well, you know, have a nice day. And so I said to him, and I said, you don't even want the name off the debit card? You don't want to know her name? Because it was a female, Cassandra something. And, he's like, oh yeah, I said, you know, she could be a missing person. You know, so, anyway, so I kept and he didn't want the debit card. He didn't want nothing to do with it. So I kept the debit card, not knowing it was a GPS system type of thing. Well, it only works if you're close enough. So I obviously went outside the range once I started heading home. And it was only a few days later that I did head home. So I'm heading home, and I get home and I realize, oh, I still have the debit card. So I showed my husband. I said, see, here's the debit card I was telling you about. And he's like, wow, that was crazy. He goes, I'm so glad you're home, blah, blah, blah. So then, I am not, you know, I'm a curious person, obviously. I have a person's debit card, right? So I look up her name on Facebook, and I find her Facebook account. And so I start looking up, seeing how old she is, if she's missing, and blah. She wasn't missing. No. However, and I looked through her photos, and guess what I found in her photos? A picture of the guy and the lady and some young kid. So it was obviously either her parents or her grandparents. I said, that's him. And so my husband's sitting there, and I said, oh my God, babe, this is them. So I showed him the picture. He's like, oh wow. You know, because they looked older than me. So I think it was grandparents. I said, yeah, I'm on her Facebook account. I said, this is their daughter or granddaughter. And they used her debit card to lure a person to have their back towards their door, right? Because here's my windshield, right? And I walked around, and and my back was towards their door. But I was talking to my husband, and they could tell because I was talking loudly, you know, and I had the windows down to the car so they could hear him talk back to me. And, well, not talk back, but, you know, reply. So, yeah, that was scary fucking time. So I got home a few 4 or 5 days later. And I still had the debit card, and I'm pretty sure I was out of the range. Now, I want to say about 10 or so days later, I felt like a white van was following me here in Washington, around my neighborhood area. And the card was still in my car. I think it's still in my car. I don't know. So, where is the card? Maybe it's not. Maybe it's up here in the house somewhere. I don't know. But, oh, you know what? I think I had it up. Anyway, so I saw this white van was following me. I'm sorry. 3 or more turns, that person's following you. Pull over and just let them go. Because what are they going to do? Pull over behind you? And if they pull over behind you, 911, bitch. I'm calling the cops. You did the same 3 turns and you're pulling in behind me? No. Church parking lot, grocery parking lot, anything to get off the road and in it going a different. And if they follow you through a Safeway parking lot or an Albertsons, you pull in one and you're going out another exit, and they are following you. They are fucking following you. So I felt like this van was following me, and he did 3 or more turns. I turned down this one street, a couple blocks away from the house, because I was heading home. And I know that it did a loopy thing, right? A loopy thing like this. So he took the left behind me. I'm like, well, he's still following me. Then I took a right, and then I stopped my car. And I was waiting and waiting and waiting. And then I said, you know what, fuck this. I put my car in, and I backed up so he could see me. He's like this, and I had turned the corner and then backed up so he could see me. And I went right down, face down the street, facing him like this. Well, he pulls in the driveway and then stops and puts his van in reverse. I could see the white lights. So I stop, and he's waiting for me to go by. I said, no, that's all right. Come on, you can do it. So he pulls out in front of me, doesn't stop at the stop sign, doesn't stop at the next stop sign, and beat feet it fucking out of there so I couldn't get his license plate number. So that was the last incident, but it was up here in Washington. But there was something in the news about people being abducted like that. And so, yeah, I could have been abducted, but, you know, I was smart enough to, you know, have a visual of my surroundings and pay attention. You know, I saw them pull in, I saw them get out, I saw them walk into the store, I saw them walk out of the store. So I knew what they fucking looked like. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. So, you know, I'm not one to break laws, but I'll tell you, I definitely will be around the corner with the bail money to bail you out. I won't break the laws. I won't go with you, but I'll be there to bail you out. That's pretty much what I bail my friends out. I don't commit crimes with my friends. And I don't really have friends that commit crimes. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, if you're gonna, like, when I'm in the car with my best friend and she is driving, she drives like a maniac. I don't say anything to her. I don't tell her to slow down because I know it's gonna piss her off. Then when I get in the car and I'm driving, like I drove her to the airport the other day, and she's like, oh, you're driving me crazy. You gotta speed up, speed up, speed up. I said, I'm already doing 5 over. I'm not going to go any faster than that. You're going to make your plane. Well, I don't care. You drive me nuts. Well, oh well. Deal with it. Close your eyes. Listen to the music. Because she knows I don't speed. Well, you know, I mean, now that I don't have my CDL and don't have to protect my CDL, I probably would maybe speed a little bit. But no. I just don't like breaking laws. I'm a rule follower. So I'm not going to speed even then. It's not safe, you know. I mean, in an emergency, yeah. Hell yeah, I was flying down that freeway in San Diego at 95 miles an hour. I know damn well that white van was not going, because I had lost him that night. They didn't find me until the next afternoon. And they were parked next to my car in the church parking lot. And it was a different guy. But I could tell he was paying attention to what I was doing. You know, that's what made me think, oh yeah, this is them. And it was a different white van. It was a white van, but it was a different white van. And but then I saw that guy's face. So then when I looked through the pictures, there was Cassandra with this guy, right? And then a picture of the older couple with a younger boy. In a photo. So she obviously didn't have, but she's not missing, so, and I'm pretty sure she, you know, took that debit card and I swear, I found 3 debit cards on my trip to San Diego. 3 of them. I found one at a rest stop, right next to my door. I picked it up, got in the car and left, you know. And then there was one, where's the other one? Where'd I find it? Oh, in one of the restaurants we went to. Like, it was like an IHOP, but it wasn't an IHOP. Maybe it was an IHOP. Yeah, so I found one of those, in the parking lot. It wasn't by my car, though. What you looking at? My dog was just staring like somebody was there. An odd. And the weird thing about my apartment is it's very, very old. And I do believe there's a ghost. So I had a security system when we moved in here. I had a pretty elaborate security system. Because it was in my house and I had paid for it, so I took it with me. And so I was setting it up, right? And you could see it would ting your phone if somebody walked by or knocked at your door. I could see who was outside, even if I wasn't home. I could look it up on the go with my phone, whatever, right? And so I had one outside and one inside, and they were motion detectors, motion sensors, so it would click on if any motion. So that, anyways, I had that on, and when I looked, every time I looked at the camera inside the house, I would see, I don't know what you want to call it. I thought, I just chalked it up to being dust, but they were pretty big. They were about this big around, and they were light orbs. It was not dust. It was like a light orb, and there was a few of them, and they would come out from the wall over there, come through this wall that's sitting right here, and then go through this wall, like they were just passing through, right? It was me knocking. Hey, Skippy, it's me. Skippy, get away from the door. Don't be obsessive like that. So, my dog. What if I whistled? He would bark because he would think somebody's at the door. Knock on the wall, he jumps up, runs to the door because he thinks somebody's knocking at the door. I'm like, I get that you're blind, you're 10 years old, you're getting old, but don't be crazy senile, dog. Anyways, so just, be careful. Know that there's these scams. If you find a zip tie, and check your passenger side doors, young ladies, before you get in the car for your own safety. If there's a zip tie on that door, you get in that car and you drive it straight to the police station, because they've marked you to be abducted, for human trafficking. That's right. If anything's on your passenger window wiper, like the debit card was on my window wiper, don't take it. No, no. Leave it there. Drive straight to a police station, straight to a fire station, whatever. A friend's house, your dad's house, your mom's, whoever, whatever, right? Get to a safe place. Do not go home, because they might be following you. So be safe out there, young ladies. And even old ladies, look at me. I was 57 at the time of this happening, and I'm 59 now. So it was in September of 2020, yeah. So I was sick, but I wasn't like, my nerve damage wasn't out of control at that point, because of the complications with my diabetes and shingles, then the neuropathy and the nerve damage just eradicated my whole body. And that's why I went from chickenpox, shingles, post-herpetic neuralgia, radicalitis. And I'm at radicalitis because it's crossed the midline on both sides, and it's eradicated my whole entire body. Every nerve is damaged. And I do feel that some parts of my body are getting better, which were the ones that hurt first, right? So like this left side is where it first started hurting, and right here it doesn't hurt. I can touch, I can tickle, I can touch this part of my body right here, this little strip, and it does not affect it at all. So I know that this part of my body is better. So I think it's just a matter of time before I do get better. If I have it for the rest of my life, I don't know. because you don't know how, they can't tell you if you're going to or how long it's going to take, because they don't know how long it takes to eradicate nerve damage in your whole body, being type 2 diabetes and the shingles and all that. So, yeah, if it happens or not, I don't know. There might come a point where I just say, you know what, fuck it, I'm going back to work, because I'm a workaholic and I'm struggling to not work. You would think my house would be spotless. However, it's not, because it's hard, right, for me to do things, the pain. I do what I can do. Lately I've been doing more, and let me tell you, filming this stuff and you know, because I gotta get up and get dressed every day to film. Otherwise I just stay in my nice, comfy, skin friendly pajamas. So, yeah, getting dressed, the clothes rubbing against my skin is not a fun thing. But, so in order to make a video and all this and that, I got to get dressed. I can't make a video in my pajamas without a bra on. No, I ain't doing that. So, yeah, right. I just don't think I would be comfortable filming in my video. I don't know, maybe I would. Maybe I just don't fucking care anymore, you know? Out of all the shit I've been through in my life, and now I gotta deal with this. It's just like, are you kidding me? Oh my God. So just to let you know, I have had 17 life-saving surgeries. 17. Hell yeah, there's a long list of shit I've been through. I've been in, you know, when you spend 90% of your life in a vehicle on the road, you're apt to have accidents, you know. And I've been in 2 really bad accidents. Not my fault. I was driving in this last one in 2014. I keep saying 2015, but it was actually 2014. It was February 13th of 2014. So I got into a horrible accident. I was doing about 30 down a road. I was going to pick up my friend. I just left my house. I wasn't even a mile away from the house. And I was driving from Kent to Enumclaw to pick up my friend, and we were going to go out to eat, and then we were going to head down to the place where I was going to get a job. I wasn't working because of the car accident, so no, I wasn't working. Why was I not? Oh, it was summertime. It had to be, no, it was February. Why was I not working? Well, with this massive head injury, I don't know why I wasn't working that day, but maybe I called in sick to go have some fun that day or whatever. I don't know. However, so I turned the corner by the skate park, and the skate park was purchased by a retirement community that surrounded the skate park, and so they paid for it, and so, you know, the boys and girls could come skate. It was like a skateboard park. It was pretty cool. So I had just passed that, and the lady was had lived in that retirement community. Was pulling out of her. It wasn't a driveway. It was a community street. It was a legal street with some stop signs and all that. But it was like the driveway out of the community, you know, right next to the park. So I'm doing about 30. I'm not quite doing 30 because I think the speed limit was 35, but I had just turned the corner, so obviously I was probably only doing like 25 or 27. It was less than a block away. And she failed to stop at the stop sign, and I T-boned her. And I did not even see her pull out. Why, you ask? Because I was sneezing at the moment of impact. So I was like this, chew, sneezing, achoo, when the airbag imploded in my face and knocked me back. I mean, it hit all the way from my face. It was the seat belts and the airbag, the airbag that imploded so hard. Man, I'd never had an airbag implode on me. So it was, wow, it was very bad. So, and the airbag is really big. It wasn't just my face. It was from here to here. It was my whole, almost my whole torso and my chest area and my face. So, yeah, because I was sneezing at the moment of impact. And then when she hit, she U-turned around the back of my car and rolled back into where she had just pulled out of, facing the opposite way. So that's how hard I hit it. So let me show you. I'm doing this, and she does the stop sign. I hit her, and she spins around behind my car and goes back up into the driveway. That's how hard I hit her. I send her into a loop. And then my car stopped on a dime. It was just boom, it was totaled. So then I couldn't get the door open, and I was kind of panicking, and I was screaming, help me, help me. My car was smoking. I thought it was gonna blow up. I couldn't get the door open, and so I just, I decided that I was gonna get sideways in my seat and use my legs to pry the door open. And at that point, there was a lady outside my car. I don't know where she came from, but that's a whole nother story. And so she helped me out of the car and put me to the side of the road. The ambulance came and got both of us. There was 2 ambulances. The fire department was right down the street, so they were the first responders. They were like 2 blocks away, and so they were there very quickly. And then the lady, she was gone. So let me tell you a story about the lady. And I'm probably going to split this up into 2 different videos. But I asked her her name. She was helping me at the side of the road. An older lady, looked so much like my mother. I was dumbfounded. I says, "Oh, thanks. What's your name?" And she goes, "Oh, my name's Diane, sweetie. Don't you know me?" What was my mom's name? And she had passed away in 2008. And I truly believe, I am 100% sure that that was my mother that helped me out of my car. And the car that had gotten totaled, it was her car when she was alive, and she had willed it to me. And it was a pretty nice car. It was a 2005 Chevy Malibu. It was a nice car. And only had like 400 and some odd miles on it, because my mother never went anywhere. The only place she ever went was the grocery store, which was less than a mile from her house, and to down Lake City Way to take the car in to have the oil exchanged. So when I was helping my mom out in 2008, I took the car down to have the oil changed, and she told me to do it. I do it. So I get down there, and he goes, is Diane your mother? And I said, yeah, she's my mother, because I look a lot like my mother, and I sound a lot like my mother, and so it's very hard for my sisters to be by me, because I do look a lot like her, and I do sound a lot like her, and I do act a lot like her. So then the guy at the oil place said, no, we're not going to change your oil, not today. He goes, there has only been 74 miles put on the car since the last oil change. I said, are you kidding? And she did. He goes, no, she comes down here every month, every other month, because of the date on the little sticker. So he goes, I'm going to tell you, and you have to relay this to your mother. It's the 3,000 miles is what we want you to do. We want you to drive this car 3,000 miles before we give you another oil change. I'm like, okay. Well, then my mom passed away, and I started driving the car, so then I was taking it out there for the oil change, but living in Kent. And I said, 3,000 miles. He goes, wow, that was quick. I said, yeah, I've been driving the car a lot. So I was going down there probably every other month. And then he goes, well, where do you come from? I said, oh, I drive from Kent. He goes, well, why don't you just go to our shop in Kent? I'm like, well, because I didn't know I could do that. Because the car was still under warranty when I got it. Yeah. So anyways, that's my story of almost being abducted by the Mexicans border. And I tell you, it was scary. Oh my goodness, it was scary. So needless to say, I finished up with my mother-in-law and beat it out of California. And I have zero want to ever go back. And as growing up as a child, that's all I ever wanted to do was go to California. Yeah, I was jealous of those people living in California. I wanted to live in California. And so, but then when I met my husband, that kind of faded, So maybe I was only supposed to be there to meet you. And now you're up here and I met you, so. But then, you know, and the only other time I ever went down there was to help his mom out. So, and almost got abducted. So that is my story of close calls. And just be aware of your surroundings, no matter what you're doing. It's going to make you safer if you're driving a car. It's going to make you safer if you're walking and paying attention. So yeah, I think paying attention is the key to, and if somebody is following you in a car, 3 or 4 turns, and that's it for me. I turn the other way, turn the opposite way. I head straight for them, and I go straight to the fire department or the police station, or a friend's, or, you know, some big guy in a truck at the stoplight. I don't know, anybody that's going to help. So yeah, it's scary. Please be safe out there in the world. There's a lot of people that aren't very nice, and you really got to protect yourself and your family from these people. So that is my story for today. I have had you on for an hour and 15 minutes, so I'm probably going to cut this into two 30 minutes and a 15 minute. So, or maybe 3 20s. I don't know. That would be 3 20s and a 10. I don't know. I'm trying to do the math in my head. So anyways, I'm forgetting to say this in my videos. So I would like to say, please like, subscribe, share this out to anybody so I can get some views, and hopefully my channel will go somewhere. I'm fairly new, but we're gonna do some cooking. I just got my dishes done, and this pan is clean. So, oh, and then I was reading an article real quick. I gotta show you. I was reading an article about Pyrex, and they were showing pictures of Pyrex casserole dishes that are, these are vintage. This one even has the lid still. Look at that, right? And so all of these casserole dishes, this one is slightly damaged from being used, but it's intact. It doesn't have a crack or anything. And the smaller one of this two casserole set dish, and it's a lid. Now let me tell you. So I was reading the article. This lid, and it showed a picture of this exact lid, is selling on eBay for $50. $50 I can make just for the lid. I wonder how much they'll pay for the whole set. Well, almost the whole set, minus one lid. A 2-piece set. And then I have this one, does not have a lid. This one is very cute. And this one is Corningware. And I believe they are, I think maybe they are Corningware, yeah. These, however, are not. The lid is Pyrex. I can see it. It is written right there. Yeah, it's Pyrex. I see it right there. It's A-Pyrex, the R circle, ATG. I don't know. So yeah, that lid alone is like $50 on eBay. So I have all of these are for sale. I don't know if I can say that, but yeah, I'd be more than willing to part with these if I was going to make a few $100. Like I said, I haven't worked in 2.5 years, and I haven't had zero income. No unemployment, no disability, no nothing, no job pay since July of 21. And here we are, August of 22, so just over a year. Before that, I did have unemployment because the medicine I was on was not a controlled substance, and I can work. So that fight's a different story as well. But so they denied me. Have to pay them back $36,000, and then I applied for disability because unemployment said you can't work, and because you said you could work, but we think you couldn't work as of March 2020. I'm like, you're out of your fucking mind, whatever. So the day I got unemployed, I couldn't work anymore. Come on, whatever. This is a progressive illness. It takes a while, you know. So anyways, but, and then I applied for disability and got told no for that because now they think I can work. So one government agency is making me pay them back because they say I can't work. And then the other government agency is saying I cannot have anything additional for on disability, whatever, because I can work. Two government agencies. One I can't work and one I can work, and I have letters for both. So, gotta find a lawyer. That's all there is to it. Gotta find a lawyer. I'm sorry, but I don't think the government should be able to have their cake and eat it too. It's one or the other. Either I can't work or I can work. Now, if I can work, then I'm not paying back unemployment. But if I can't work, I need to get on disability. I have had zero income in over a year. I've been sick for 2.5. The requirement to get on disability is to not be able to work for 1 year. It's been 2.5 years for me, and not a fucking dime since July for over a year. There you go. Now I could just stand here and rattle off all day, but I'm not gonna. Thank you. Like, subscribe, share it out. Hit that bell notification so you can be notified every time I want to make a fool of myself. Take care.